Gretchen. That was beautiful. Good morning. My name is Marilee, and I want to welcome everyone that came out today in person and online. I'm really happy you're here. Anyone that's here for the first time or hasn't seen the table that's right inside the door, there's all kinds of good stuff there for you. You got to get a little closer to the mic. There you go. There are mugs. There are free hugs buttons. There's a Unity packet in case you need additional information. There's all kinds of stuff there for you. So, let's go ahead and get into the first song. Peace is Flowing Like a River, led by Suzanne Kellogg.
Peace is flowing like a river, flowing out from you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Compassion is flowing like a river, flowing out from you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Humility is flowing like a river, flowing out from you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free. Peace is flowing like a river, flowing out from you and me, flowing out into the desert, setting all the captives free.
Thank you. All right, want to get real? I panicked a little bit, and I forgot some of the first part of everything that I was supposed to say.
Welcome to the MC role.
I look around and I see so many people that I know and love already in the year that I've been coming here. And I forget that everyone is in a different place in what they're doing and where they are in their life and their experience here at the Unity Center. So what I actually wanted to say was that this place is truly a place that is welcoming of everyone. And there are absolutely no limitations, no religious limitations or race or politics or anything. Absolutely everyone is welcome here. And I have found such peace and love coming here. I appreciate you all. Okay, thank you. And when we need to breathe, we can do that, and we know that we have friends all around us. Okay, so the announcements for today. The Spirit Seeker Fair is coming up on May 3rd. There are posters there in the back if you want to take a few and put them wherever you know people are going to travel. We have a lot of great vendors coming for the Spirit Seekers Fair. There's also vendor sign-ups in the back. So if you want to be a vendor, please grab one of those papers and talk to Stevie. Okay, next week, Saturday, March 15th, there's going to be the Des Moines Drummers at 4 p.m. This is a donation-based event. All levels are welcome. And our sound guy is one of the drummers, and we have another drummer here, Maggie, and up right there. Okay, next Sunday, March 16th at 5:15, we have the Kirtan devotional chanting, and at 6:30, we have the full moon gong meditation in the sanctuary with Sounds for the Soul by our very own Deb Jennings, and all of our regular events. And we're getting so many. Our list is pretty long. We have Deja's Yoga and Deb's Midday Gong Meditation and Michael's Tai Chi, and we have a Course in Miracles online. We have a book club on Sunday morning. Everything is on the website if you want additional information or contact information about any of these things. Please check that out. Okay, now we're going to say the statement of faith together. There is only one power active in my life and in the universe, the divine source of all life and love. Next, as we say the unity affirmation statement, really think about the fact that we are all connected. We truly are in this all together. Unity of the Point is a radiating center of the divine light, mighty to attract its good and to radiate good to others. In keeping in the spirit of unity and oneness, the following people are in need of some additional prayers this week. I invite you to uncross your legs and really sink into your chair and connect to the earth as we send love and light to Matt, Michael, Alexander, Eric, Deb, Justin, Jeannie, Carrie, Rob, Angie, Devin, Scott, Jess, Emma, Ashley, Maddie, Michael, Jody, Sarah and family, Holly, Jeanette Marie, Jess, Paul and Phyllis, Christina, Seal, and people with struggles we know nothing about.
And let's take this time to really sink into the chairs that we are in and let them support us as we go into meditation. Taking a nice deep breath, breathing in and out. And remembering that no matter what is going on in the world around us, we can come into the center of our being to connect with peace. And doing that now, let's take another deep breath of peace. And as you let your breath out, let go of anything that doesn't feel like peace. You're always free to pick that back up later, but if you choose to and wish to be more peaceful, just keep breathing in peace and letting everything else go on the out-breath. Being compassionate with ourselves and those we perceive to be others. Breathing in peace and letting it or anything else go on the out-breath. Knowing that any time you can turn within, feeling more centered and focused, balanced and aligned in our hearts. Placing a hand on your heart and saying to yourself, I am at peace. Bringing the focus of your awareness to the sounds of the chime, letting its peaceful vibrations wash over you. And just follow those sounds with your awareness and into the silence when that comes. resting in the peaceful silence. And as you gently return your awareness to this beautiful space that we are blessed to gather in every Sunday morning, breathe in peace again. And as you go through your day, let your light shine, let love, harmony, beauty, and peace shine through you.
Thank you so much, Deb. Your meditations have been amazing over the last year, and talking about peace. Peace is not something that I knew existed. So thank you for introducing me to that and leading everyone in that meditation. Today the daily word is from Mark chapter 13, verse 37. And what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake. Awakening from sleep, I pause for a moment to feel the energy of a new day. Birds outside my window sing a greeting. My still closed eyelids sense the morning light, letting go of the delicious relaxation of sleep. I stretch my limbs, open my eyes, and rise from my bed. Awake, fully present in mind, body, and soul, to each activity of this day and to each person I meet, I truly feel connected. I engage fully with my daily work, study, prayer, and recreation. I notice details in my surroundings and see expressions of love and kindness I may have overlooked. Each moment becomes more vivid and meaningful. Nothing feels ordinary when I am awake. My life is a journey of discovery and appreciation. Now I'll say the affirmation and we can all repeat it together. I am awake and fully present to life.
I am awake and fully present to life.
All right, now we're going to sing another song. May all beings be well.
This is actually, there's two versions, like you'll see the first two lines have a different melody than the rest of it. So it's been a fusion of what Deb put together. So may all beings be well, may all beings be happy, peace, peace, peace. May all beings be well and happy, may all beings be free from strife, may all beings return to love, peace be with you forevermore. May all beings be well, may all beings be happy, peace, peace, peace. May all beings be well and happy, may all beings be free from strife, may all beings return to love, peace be
forevermore. Peace be with you forevermore.
That's really beautiful. I always want to clap, but it's always so serene too. And so,
You go like that.
yeah. Yeah. We can all do that. All right. It's now my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, a great hugger, a fantastic cheerleader, and someone I'm really glad to know. Here to talk about compassion and humility being keys to peace, please welcome Miss Stevie Lang.
Okay, that's just all my things.
I like to hold it. Welcome, everyone. Thank you to all the new people and the familiar faces that I see as I look around. I am speaking today because Melissa Harris, who was originally on the schedule, had a death in her family. And so I didn't put it on the prayer list, but if we could give extra love and support to Melissa and her family, that would be much appreciated. And when I agreed to speak today, all I initially received was a title, Keys to Peace, Compassion and Humility. And between then and now, I just followed the nudges of different books. Some of them I've never read before, and some of it I'm just gonna speak and setting the intention that anyone that's here in person or listening online, whatever message is there for you is gonna resonate and it's gonna give you a zing and you're gonna know, okay, that was for me. So, there's a lot going on in the world. And there's usually a lot going on in the world, but I feel like now in particular, there is a call to get real with ourselves, with our capacity for compassion, humility, and peace. Because as we look around, there's a lot of things that could inspire anger, upset, maybe even hatred. And I'm not saying any feeling is invalid. I'm just saying to own our power and our ability to tune into what frequency we choose. And whatever we focus on is what is going to amplify. I'm going to say that again. Whatever we focus on is what we're going to amplify. Thinking about what we don't like, what we wish were different, what's wrong with the world, and I put that in quotes, because how humility is related to compassion is, although we talk about here that God is within us, the divine is within us, the powers, the energies of the entire universe are within us, I, as an individual, am not the sole reason that the sun rises and sets. Right? I am not the reason that there are the stars in the galaxy and this infinite universe that we have. It's within me and it's through me, and I have a lot of influence over what I surround myself with, how people feel when they're in my presence, what I send out into the world. That's divine, that's creative, that is God within me, and I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this. But you, are not the reason that the sun rises and sets every day. So humility comes in when we can recognize that's out of my control. And me recognizing that that's out of my control is not in any way condoning injustice or making me say that I stand for something I don't. No, not at all. But I am standing for love up here. And so, yes, you can clap to that. I feel it in my heart. I feel this love connection, these purple hearts sending to all of you and receiving it back. And we sitting in this room, sitting in this circle, for miles and miles and miles, are amplifying that love vibration. And people, because of what's happening in the world, because of the upsetting things, people are starting to wake up, to pay attention. And people that have said or believed maybe that they stand for love and light and compassion and acceptance are getting challenged to prove how true that is. Because if I sit here and say or believe that I stand for love, but then I turn around and I reject someone because they believe something different than me, and I reject them as an entire person, not just saying, I don't resonate with that belief, or help me understand how you see the world with curiosity, then to me, that's not love. And that's a call for me to get real with myself on how true that is. One of the books, I've never read this book. I can't tell you anything about the book other than it was in the library downstairs, and I was guided to a shelf, and I was guided to a book, and I was guided to a page. But the title is Rising in Love, The Journey into Light by Alan Cohen. Vivian has probably read it. It's not in here. And the page that I was led to, which I just had to chuckle, is page 63 with the title of Tough Love, Ruthless Compassion. And the quote that the chapter starts out with is this: sometimes, kids, it's cruel to be kind, and sometimes it's kind to be cruel. You have to know which is which. Hilda. And about the middle of the page it says this: tough love. God is the toughest lover of all. We may be tempted to rail against God when we feel that the universe has dealt us an unjust blow. But the trying times are the very moments when God is giving us the grace of learning how to return to the home against which we have turned our back. The prodigal son wandered off into the far country, only to be forced back home by a famine which fell upon the land. Had the famine not come, he might have continued to wander in vain. The famine was cruel, yet merciful kind. I learned about tough love when I was in a relationship with a woman, a relationship in which I felt very attached and needy. It seemed that when she was affectionate to me, I felt good, and when she acted cold, I felt hurt. My happiness was almost completely dependent on the way she acted toward me. It was a fool's happiness. I had given her power over my peace of mind, a surrender which is never justified. And I would say, if there's anyone here or online that feels, maybe it's not a romantic relationship, maybe it's the government or people in your community that you feel is rejecting you, do not give them the power to decide whether you are divine or not. Do not give them the power to decide whether you are okay or not. And I am telling you right now that you are loved. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. We love each other. And surround yourself with the people that remind you that you are divine, that you are okay, better than okay. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment at this time. Because they're out there. And if that's not your environment, you can find a different environment. That's the power we have. We are not trees with roots that can't move. We are people with feet that can move, and we have the ability to surround ourselves with the people and the vibrations and the energy that we wish to. Another thing I was guided to, if you have heard of Matt Kahn, he's got lots of videos. I think he was a Hay House author, but he talks a lot about love and compassion. He has Jewish roots and has seen a lot of visions in his lifetime. He has a book that pretty much instantly raises my vibration whenever I read it. And the title of it is Whatever Arises, Love That. And on page 125, it's chapter 7 on mastering relationships. It says this: as you give yourself the love that only you can provide, you begin to notice how the more profound levels of spiritual evolution occur through the mastering of relationships. This includes the relationship between mind and heart, which is reflected through the bond of a parent and their inner child. Additionally, it includes the mastering of the relationship between self and subject through the perception of the world around you. When all of the interactions you have with your family, friends, or in your workplace become opportunities to serve our awakening humanity, a master of relationships has been found. No longer can you be satisfied by being enlightened in private and enraged in public. Knowing that every moment of conflict is an opportunity to discover the invaluable gifts that life provides. I have a Hindu friend who talked about the dangers of praying for peace, and I say this because that's what she was talking about. Not necessarily, I'll put that little precursor on. She said the danger of praying for peace is you cannot have peace without conflict. It's kind of like other people, Christian circles have said, never pray for patience, because God will give you reasons to be patient. Right? You know what I'm talking about, right? So, I don't quite know what to do with that, but I share that in perhaps seeing conflict as the way to peace. Seeing conflict as a way to stir up the pot, to separate, to sift out the soot from the clear water so that it can be removed. And after it's shaken up, once it settles, then you can clearly see what's the soot and what's the water. And don't take any action in the place where it's all shook up. Give it time to settle. I invite everyone to accept the call to grow in compassion. Because people who think different, who see the world differently, unrest, those are opportunities to expand our ability to be compassionate. And pairing that with humility and recognizing, although each and every one of us is divine, we are not the reason the sun rises and sets. The world goes on whether we're here in this fleshly form or not. There are many things outside of our control. And what we focus on amplifies. So choose wisely what we focus on from a place of humility. Humility to me also gives me room to be more loving to myself, because I spent a lot of years putting a lot of pressure on myself to do it just right. And I realized today that that's coming from a place of pride. That's coming from a place of, I am so whatever, that I have to do it just right. And other people might be able to make mistakes that I can't. Doesn't that seem silly? That seems silly. I said it's silly, but it really is. It comes from pride. Somewhere along the line, I don't remember who, but they explained that ego is our personality or our way of being in the world. And we need an ego in order
to have the human experience and interact with each other. If we truly walked around as only light or energy, that would defeat the purpose of being human, because we couldn't have the interactions that we are in this human flesh and blood vibration to experience. So, like, don't hate the ego, but recognize its place. The personality, the way to have the experiences. Don't take it too seriously as if it's the only thing there is. That's where humility comes into play. In both, thinking too much of oneself, thinking we have more influence or can control more than we can, aka what anybody else thinks or believes, or thinking low of ourselves, that we're worthless, that we're defective, that there's something wrong with me. That's ego too. And I didn't know that before I was taught that. I thought that only thinking too much of yourself, of being arrogant and putting other people down, I thought that was egotistical. But putting yourself down is also egotistical, because that's disconnecting from spirit, universe, God, Christ consciousness, because all of those messages are saying, you're here for a purpose. The hairs of your head are numbered before you were conceived, is what a scripture in Psalm says. You're here for a reason. And that reason is to be you, not the person sitting next to you, not someone on television. You, all of what you are, exactly as you are. And if your heart is calling you to be different in some way than what you currently are, then get curious about what's behind that. Understand that that's part of the spiritual connection to nudge you in a certain direction, and you get to decide what nudges you listen to. I sat in a recovery meeting last night where people were talking about having trouble turning their will and their life over to a higher power or to God of their understanding, and how people really struggled with that. And something that came out of the conversation is someone that struggled with addiction absolutely knows how to turn their will and life over to something outside themselves. It's called the substance. You know how to do it. The destructive behavior patterns, the self-sabotage, the choose your own adventure in the substance. We know how to do that. What we might forget we know how to do is to shift it so it comes from a place of self-love, acceptance, compassion, and humility, instead of a place of ego, chasing a high or chasing some kind of attachment to a feeling that we want to have. Because that attachment to a feeling we want to have is the root of suffering. I can say that's a Buddhist teaching. There's some of it in all the world's major religions in some way. They all say wanting something that isn't is going to lead you down a path of suffering in whatever words. So having and owning our full gamut of emotion and experience, and growing in our compassion for ourselves, for all the times that we made decisions that, looking back, we would have liked to have made a different decision, or other choices that we made, seeing how we impacted our lives or those around us, and owning and accepting and just kind of doing that inventory of, yeah, that's how that worked out. But expanding in our compassion, knowing that we did the best we could with what we knew and what we had at the time. And every single person that we ever perceived hurt us, likely in some way was doing the best they could with what they had at the time. So keys to peace, compassion, and humility. We have about 10 more minutes, and I'm getting the nudge that some feelings and comments are bubbling up in the audience. And so I would like to invite people to share what's showing up for them, because if it's showing up for you, it likely is also for someone else that's either here or watching online. It's not, that's part of the humility too. Like, it's not all about you. It's not all about me. We're here for a purpose to serve one another, to show up, to be our full selves. And we're all connected. The last time we spoke, we're all one. So who feels like sharing?
Yeah.
When it comes to peace on earth and struggles and like war, famine, all that stuff, I do know that all of our souls came with a contract down here on earth to experience certain things. And part of that is to experience being on the victim end. And also, it is also to experience being the perpetrator. So it is part of the experience on earth. We may wish for peace, but that's not the way this world is right now.
You got something to say.
I do. Because I think I had my epiphany, like, I would say probably in the last week or two of,
Yeah.
you know, I've been chasing feelings.
Yep.
Right?
There you go.
Not recently.
Yeah.
And that I've been chasing feelings, right? But my purpose here, and I know this now, is to be happy. It doesn't feel it. Right? So I think it's interesting because as you were having that conversation, I was having a reaction to it in my body. I was like, ooh, that doesn't feel good to me. And it's not that your message isn't accurate or anything else. It's that for me, I know I'm here to be happy. And so I have to sit there and honor for myself personally my own journey, my own divinity, right? And understand the values and the principles and all those good things that make me happy. So while your message resonates for me with the compassion and the humility and all those things, the opposite of I am chasing happy. And I'm not, actually, that's probably a bad way to describe it. I'm not chasing.
Yeah. Because my curiosity is how is that working for you?
Right. I'm happy, actually. It amplifies, like I'm manifesting happy. I'm putting that energy out there. It's expanding, you know, and I am happy. I'm truly happy.
And do you encounter people, like, are you vibing at a joy level so much that anything that disrupts that just doesn't even come into your orbit? Or do people show up?
Let me think about that for a second. I would say all people show up. I just handle it differently now. Right? I mean, really.
Right.
I can have conversations about politics and I can have conversations about things and I just stay true to me and I listen and I try to seek to understand them.
Yes.
So that way I can broaden my perspective more.
Yes.
Or not, if it doesn't resonate for me. Like, you know, I mean, sometimes I'm like, we're gonna have to agree to disagree, right?
Yep, exactly.
But I stay in my lane.
Yep.
Like, true to me.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's what was bubbling up for me. I was like, good intuition, Stevie.
Yeah. Linda's got something. Oh.
Right here.
Right. Yeah, you go.
Stevie, I like when you said, it's cruel to be kind, but kind to be cruel. I like that because like, I feel like setting boundaries for myself is healthy, but it may hurt someone else's feelings.
Right.
So I'm being kind to myself.
Yep.
But they may not, like, they may think the boundary is stupid or.
Right.
But it's, yeah, I really like.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. Oh, that got some, that got some response.
I'm going to stand up here so I'm not talking to the heads behind me. I had the opportunity a couple of nights ago to, the privilege to speak a common thread. And what was amazing to me was I've done so many talks over the years, some here, but there were new things coming out of me that hadn't been shared before, ways that I shared it and so on. And so what was inspired me about what you shared, Stevie, is that I'm not the sun that the world revolves around, but I am a sun.
Yes.
I am an energy, and it is going to shine whether I like it or not.
Yep.
So one of the things that I've done recently, I started a show on Facebook called Rise in Excellence with Dr. Paul Kellogg for my own personal benefit. I'm rising and improving and expanding all the time. Excellence isn't a destination or perfection. It's an opportunity just to be and grow and share and learn. And so I think the message that I'm getting today is that, you know, how am I hiding my light under that bushel? You know, how am I holding back from just being me, being that son, and allowing myself to give, allowing myself to also to receive, because that's the piece of that sunshine, the receiving back is the plants growing and that, you know, and so on, because there's sunshine. And I'll never know how that, and what's so beautiful about what Stevie shared, I'll never know how my sunshine might impact something else. It might inspire some other sunshine to shine. So this is a beautiful message to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing, everyone.
I learned something years ago that has been very helpful for me in prayer, and that is to say, like, let's say I really like to have a relationship, and you write down everything you want, but what you say at the end is, or whatever is highest and best, and let the divinity.
Yes.
That really works for me.
Yeah. My favorite affirmation to say this and anything better. Because sometimes I can't imagine the best for myself because I haven't ever experienced it. But that or anything better, you know, it's good. So similar message.
One moment while I get to the other end of the room.
Such great shares, everybody. Thank you.
I don't know, but when you said everyone's doing their best, and you accept that, I think that's so difficult because that means that the anger, the emotions that come because people are doing their best but they still hurt us, we're afraid to let that go. We're afraid to accept that they're doing their best because, well, how do I do with that?
Yeah.
What do I do with the fact that someone hurt me? There's people out there that will hurt me, but they're doing their best? That can't be right. And our brains are going, whoa, that can't be right. There's something wrong with that. And I wish I had an answer for that, but I know that I'm struggling. I keep hanging on to anger, I keep hanging on to fears, I keep hanging on, I have to hate that person because I'm terrified I will let that energy into my life. And I'm still not sure what to do with that. And I don't know if that's why I should, but.
I'll tell you, as you're, so Dacia's got something to say about that. No, okay, just what showed up for me or what zinged me as you were speaking is get curious about that fear. What are you afraid of losing, or what are you afraid of being vulnerable to through acceptance? Because I know for myself, you know, touch a hot stove, ow, don't touch the hot stove, solve that problem. Well, when we're compassionate towards others, touch hot stove, you hurt me, you know, you don't want to keep going back for that hurt,
That's just dope.
right? But that's where our someone mentioned boundaries. That's where boundaries come in, and that no one can hurt us past our boundaries with them. And those boundaries can be fluid, and depending upon how someone's acting, we can shift our boundaries accordingly because we're safe within ourselves and our divinity, not safe because of what other people are thinking or feeling.
But we're risking getting hurt.
That's right, and that's the
And
vulnerability.
That's a very, it's powerful.
Yes.
Can you repeat that?
Oh, go ahead. We'll get over
I
there.
think what resonated with me most was when you spoke about the water and the ash and letting things settle. And for about the last 6 months, I'm noticing when I get angry, I'm hearing and I'm feeling, let it settle. Just wait, just hold. Because if I can wait and the ash settles at the bottom, and I can now see through the clear water, I also can see that the ash is nourishment, right? Because ash goes back to the earth and it nourishes, and then what happens? Things grow from that, right? So I love that you use that analogy, because if I can sit with my anger, I can eventually realize that I'm actually just really sad. And I'm hurt. And I'm scared. And if I can see that, maybe I can tend to myself from a place of seeing that I'm sad. And I really just want to be held and loved, and yelling at me probably isn't gonna help. And I work with children, and I will sometimes say to them, because they'll yell at each other. And I love to remind them sometimes, I can't hear you any better because you are yelling. In fact, I might not be able to hear you at all. And I think if we can just settle and wait and watch, things get very clear very quickly. So I really appreciate that.
Yay.
One more over here.
On the risk being vulnerable. I'm from Cedar Rapids. I'm not actually from here, the community there. So I work with a lot of different medicines from the earth, and the very wise medicines, and Cambo and ayahuasca and a lot of different things. And the thing that's come to me recently is through those medicines is I've had a lot of trauma in my life, lots of trauma, lots of people hurting me in many very different ways, and kind of like he talked about, I've had trouble processing that, letting go of it, you know, wanting to let go of the anger that somehow it protects me from ever getting hurt like that again. And the thing that has come to me just in the last week or so of working with one of those medicines is that when somebody strikes me, hurts me, it's like a snake biting me, and they inject venom into me. And it's not really my responsibility to find out why they struck me, which is what I've done most of my life, is try to find out why they struck me or anything like that. But my responsibility as a spiritual being is to find out how to get that poison out of me, whatever healing method I need to do. And a lot of people don't like the term forgiveness because, yeah, then I've somehow opened vulnerable again to that person hurting me. But the problem is that forgiveness breaks the chain between me and them. Because what I've really come to find out is recently is that I still have a lot of that venom in me. From way young, 6 years old, people hurting me. And it is my responsibility to find whatever I need healing in to get that venom out of me. To get that venom out of me. And really the truth is that, you know, when we talk about the world today, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of venom in them. And they're putting venom in people all over the place. And they're just hurting people and striking people. And I can't really do much about that, but I don't have to keep the venom inside of me. So I need to find whatever healing modality it is and I'm working on that, to get the venom out of me so that I can be in a place of peace and compassion and kindness and love and all that. That doesn't mean that I need to sit down and have coffee with people who struck me as them, because I don't necessarily. But unfortunately, what I have found, I'm sorry to go so long here, but I am still struggling with some of those people that put venom in me at 6. And so I gotta get rid of that venom so I can walk through this world from a place of peace.
God is good, Spirit is good, the universe is loving and supporting us. One time I told Mary that the universe has got your back. So I just want to tell everybody, the universe has got your back, okay? And if you would like to share your resources with Unity of Des Moines, now is your opportunity to do so. Zeke is coming around. We also have options with Zelle and with Venmo, if that's something that resonates with you. But regardless of what your contributions are, if they're of a financial, spiritual, energetic, or physical level, we want to offer this affirmation. I am infinitely abundant. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I thankfully acknowledge the divine source.
May I walk through each day. May I walk, may I walk, may I walk, may I walk in peace, in compassion. May I walk through each day. May I walk through my life. May I walk, may I walk in peace. May I walk, 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 may I walk in peace, in humility. May I walk through each day. May I walk through my life. May I walk, may I walk in peace. May I walk, 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 may I walk in peace. May I walk in peace. May I walk in peace.
Thank you so much, Deb. If I did not thank you earlier, thank you for your musical talents that you bring to us every single week. Thank you, Susan, and thank you, Randy, for doing the sound up there. Really appreciate it. Yes, round of applause for everyone. Gratitude and spirit that brings it all together. I'd like to dedicate this offering to do the work of spirit and truth to the people of Unity of Des Moines, and we are grateful. Thank you, Zeke. All right, and now I'd like to invite everyone to stand up and follow along with Deb as she goes through the words and hand motions for the universal greeting of peace from the Gandhi Foundation.
And you can just repeat back to me. I offer you peace.
I offer you peace.
I offer you love.
I offer you love.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
I see your beauty.
I see your beauty.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I feel your feelings.
I feel your feelings.
My wisdom flows from the higher source,
My wisdom flows from heaven.
and I salute that source.
And I salute that source in you.
Let us work together for unity and love.
Let us work together for unity and love.
Yay! All right, and now we're concluding our service. If you could all make a great big circle around the room, we'll sing our closing song and do the benediction. There are snacks and coffee in the community room. Thank you so much. And I will need some couple of chairs, but I'll go through that a little bit later.
Light of God surrounds us, the love of God holds us, the power of the divine protects us, the presence of the divine watches over us. Wherever we are, God is all is well. Getting 2 rows